Brooksaw Antiques here. Today we have this 1964 Brother De Luxe vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Up top are the margins. This is your left margin. I'm going to set this around 0 and your right margin around 80. And this is the paper support arm that flips up from the back like a switchblade. And this is the paper bale that sits on top and holds the page down. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit this line space, gets you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 1.5, or 2 spaces. Right now we have it on 1. But if you want 1.5, flip that switch forward 1 notch. It skips 1.5, 1 more, it skips 2. And keep it on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a 6 on the next line. Very nice typing machine, very reliable. Brother made some of the more modern typewriters. Made in Japan, and they still make printers and printing style electronics. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. Flip it back and unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or card stock. Make sure you flip that back front before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. Got a shift on each side and a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the right side, that looks good. Color selector switch on the right side as well. This, when you flip it up, it just prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. Flip it all the way down, it prints the top portion of the ribbon. If you put it in the middle, it doesn't print, it just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. We got a solid black ribbon loaded right now, so we're just going to keep that on that bottom function so it prints the top. And a fun fact is you can use a black ribbon, a solid black ribbon, twice by just switching that. Once you use up the bottom portion, you switch it up to the red. I'm going to flip this back down for now. This is your margin release, so you get to the end of the margin, there's a block that won't allow you to get past it, and if you just hit that, it will allow you to go all the way to the end. Touch control on the left side here from low to high. The higher up you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys, and they respond faster. The lower you go, they don't respond as fast, but you don't have to hit them as hard for them to print. The hood just pops right off like this. It's got 2 little poles that go into these holes, and these are actually 3D printed inserts that I designed because the old ones were old and rotted. So I do have those available if you're looking for some in my shop. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left side, so it's pulling to the right side. If you want to switch that direction, you just switch the little holder here the opposite direction and it'll start pulling to that side. That works good. We're going to keep it pulling to the right and put the hood back on. Also called the spool cover. This is all metal. This is metal, and the frame is metal. Everything's metal except for the keys. And this is glass, I think. Plastic, maybe hard plastic. This is your carriage lock, so you flip that forward and put the carriage in the middle. It'll lock in the middle for when you have it in the case, so it doesn't bounce around causing damage. You flip it back and it unlocks the carriage. This is a carriage release. There's only one on this model on the right side. Very smooth. Brother is known to be just a very overall smooth, semi-luxurious typewriter. Definitely a workhorse when it comes to typewriters. Very reliable. The switch, if you put it all the way back, this is your line space indicator from 1, 1.5, and 2. But if you put it all the way back, it'll disable the spacing, so you can get to an exact spot on the page. And when you flip it back to the 1, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.